Welcome to Flip with Lou and Kip. I'm Lou.
I'm Kip.
And it's not about showing me the money. It's about what?
Show them the menu, Lou.
Show the menu. Kip, we are moving right along into it.
Great.
We are diving into it. And now we're about to get to another iteration of the curriculum. So for the viewers at home, first, before you guys watch this episode, please share with your community. We are only as good as the community that we are in front of. And if you guys share, please like, comment, subscribe, but give us notes, send in information, send in questions, because that's what's going to help us thrive ultimately. But also, too, it's going to help us continue to serve you guys. So please like, comment, and subscribe.
So glad you
and we'll
said
be
that.
on.
We are definitely here for you.
Yes.
We kind of know this, but we are so excited to share this.
Yes.
So let us know what you need to know,
Yes.
and it'll be our priority.
Yes. All right. So listen, Kip, now we're right into the curriculum. For you guys at home, I want you to imagine yourself 3, 5, 7 years from now.
Right.
You're paying off the debt that you probably have from student loans or debt that you've accumulated over the course of college. Maybe you take that trip finally that you've always been looking forward to. Or maybe you're just starting to finally save, right? You're getting into this mode where you got some funds in your pocket, you're starting to save, and you're starting to see that you're having some momentum, right? And the trajectory is changing. But this gets to the part of the curriculum.
Moment. That feels so good.
Oh,
when
it feels
that happens.
amazing.
You're like,
It gets. Oh,
I
it feels
might actually
amazing.
be able to do this.
Right,
you know,
100%.
Stand on my own 2 feet. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. We all go through it.
Yeah.
But this is time horizon.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
And this is a part of it where you have to put yourself in that mode of understanding what does short, what does medium, what does long-term goals look like as it relates to anything when it pertains financially. So, Kip, I want you to really dive into it because honestly, outside of the two of us, you have the wisdom, man. And I want to sit back as I always do. And I want to continue to be a student like everyone else that's watching, but I want to continue to be a student. So talk to us about that time horizon. And let's just kind of dive into that, right?
Thank you. Thanks for being really polite and kind to me too.
Yeah.
Honestly, you got all the wisdom in anybody in the world I've ever met. So I look forward to sharing this discussion with you and sharing the discussion with all of you at home as you communicate with us, because this is the curriculum now. I have to say, I love this part of it because we get specific with people.
Yes.
It's been good to get to know you, but it's been great to actually get to help you.
Yes.
So talking about time horizon, I've divided time horizon for our discussion into 3 sections.
Got it.
Short term, let's define it as 0 to 3 years.
Got it.
Okay. And I'll break that down in a sec.
Yep.
Medium term, 3 years to 7 years, and long term is 7 years and beyond.
Got it.
Let me make a statement here, a bit of a fact. Where you are right now, wherever that is a result of decisions you made 3 to 5 years ago. So today is the result of decisions 3 to 5 years ago. What that means is the short and the medium term, that's your focus.
Wow.
The long term, 7 years and beyond, we got time. We're going to make adjustments.
Got it.
And mostly what 7 years and beyond is retirement planning and things that are more than 7 years into your future.
Sure.
Those things are going to change. So the real focus of our curriculum portion today is going to be on the short and the medium term.
Yep, absolutely. So with that being said, because I hear it, right? Focusing on short, medium, long, whatever the case may be, that's always something great, but it also is a system, right?
Yes.
I think what you're doing is defining a system. So talking about the definition, right?
Okay, cool.
And why are you defining a system? Why is it important for somebody to define those periods of time very clearly? And I'm pretty sure you're going to get into that, but I really want to define that if you can give your own experience.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to refer to some notes because there's a lot of detail here that I don't want to forget.
Absolutely.
By talking too fast.
100%.
So during these first 3 years, this 0 to 3 years, let's get into the mindset of what are our goals during that time so that we can feel we're building the short term towards a successful medium.
Got it.
So short term is all about paying your bills.
Got it.
Making certain that you're I love this. You guys can all make fun of me for this. Making sure your nut's covered. That you got a nut and you know how to cover your nut. And that you're showing up for yourself here. You're starting in this first 0 to 3 years to training yourself to show up consistently.
Sure.
So you're paying your bills on time. You're completing your credit card payments in full.
Right.
You're learning how to not allow yesterday to creep into today and today to creep into tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay, so that's the 0 to 3 years. And inside of there, we're going to work on building an emergency fund. An emergency fund is essentially 3 to 6 months of your total expenses. How are you going to know 3 to 6 months of expenses? You're going to go to another of our curriculum episodes and watch it closely about budgeting.
Yes.
The only way to know this stuff, and you see, you can't skip a step. Budgeting is important in order to know how it is you can build an emergency savings.
100%.
How much am I actually spending?
100%.
So 3 to 6 months, I would err more on the 6-month side because things take longer and you never know.
Well, with that being said as well, and I want you to continue to dive into this because I think this is so, not I think, I know the value that people are getting from breaking it down, right? You can kind of compartmentalize the time, but it also allows you not to feel so much anxiety, right? And,
totally.
and overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
Because someone that's 25 now, right? They're like, oh my God, I'm 25 and life is here and I don't have that much time. And it's like, you're still 25. And so you're trying to race to the finish line more than anything. And it's kind of as if you have to take steps along the way and break it down where you're understanding that you do have time
Thanks,
on your
Lou.
side.
Thank you.
And so I love that you're diving into the timeline because those timelines and those events that are happening within those timelines.
Reduce some anxiety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for
Yes.
bringing it up. This is all about reducing anxiety.
Perfect.
Everything we're doing here is intended to reduce your anxiety about your money.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
that like just easy, like getting dressed. It's just the
Perfect.
thing you do rather than, oh my God, what am I going to do
Yeah,
about my
yeah,
money?
yeah. Awesome.
So we've got emergency fund. I'd like to get into a little bit travel here because as soon as you start to make a little money, the instinct is let's take a holiday, let's go someplace. Define travel as travel you want to do and travel you need to do.
Okay.
This early stage, you're doing the travel you need to do.
Got it.
So we need to have enough money available for you to take the bus, take the train, buy a car, rent a car,
Yes.
take the Uber. This is you getting to a job or an interview
Got
or to get the clothes you need in order to get the job to the interview or to go home, to spend time with family and friends and recharge, or to be there for your parents or
Sure.
in an emergency.
Sure.
That's that kind of travel.
Got it.
Okay, so
Got it.
let's keep travel into 2 buckets
Okay.
so that we don't deny ourselves any type of travel. We're talking about travel.
Okay.
Car rental and purchase or lease. This one comes up to us all the
Wow,
time.
yes.
In this
Yes.
short-term period of, is it wise to own a car? Should I lease a car? Should I rent a car? How do you even rent a car?
Yeah.
And the answer is the following. When you buy a new car off a lot, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it immediately loses about 50% of its value.
Okay.
So you just spent 50% of the total price for the thrill of the salesperson getting a bigger commission.
Correct.
Who you're never going to see again in the rest of your life and could care less about you.
No.
So buying a new car at this stage is really not in your cards. It's not there for you.
Okay.
Buying a used car requires some diligence.
Okay.
Making certain that you've gone to a mechanic before you purchase it, that they've done a thorough review so that you're buying something you aren't going to be sinking money into. And now that you've made the decision that a new car isn't for you yet, someday in life,
Okay.
we'll get there,
Got
but
it.
not yet,
Got it.
that we're really working on transportation, the question becomes what kind of car for what kind of work and what kind of environment?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Living in the farmland,
For sure.
farmland is different than urban.
Oh, for sure, 100%. And I want to really, hone in on the buying versus leasing because, there's a lot of folks and probably our viewers at home that think cash is king and I just need to buy a car cash. And maybe, it's again a used car, $15,000, $20,000, and walk out the door. I have no note, and I'm not obviously paying money long term over time. But then there's the argument on the other side where folks are like, well, why won't you lease? Right? I can get a new car every 3 years if I want, or 2 years, depending on the term amount.
true.
Right? And also too, like, I'm making money now. I have a great job. I am starting to see that there's access to some capital. I want a nice car. And also the nice car is along the lines of the job that I have as well. So I need to show up if I'm a real estate agent with a nice car to carry around, my stuff and drive my clients around as well.
Sure.
So like, I hear you.
Let me break down a
but
strategy.
let's break down
Let me
a
give you
strategy. Yeah, let's
Based
go
on
into
exactly
practical
what you
things.
just said there. Lou.
Yes.
Here's what I would recommend in
Yes.
that situation.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
not be leasing that car.
Got it.
Because a lease is a confirmed payment every month. Now you got a job now, but maybe you won't
Well,
later.
right.
And you still got that lease payment.
Got it.
And those lease payments don't add up to any equity for you.
Got it.
You're paying a principal and an interest on top of that lease payment. So
Yes.
again, you're making the dealer more money.
Got
and
it.
the dealer knows they're going to get that vehicle back in 3 or 5 years. They're just going to be able to turn it around. They've got the asset.
Got it.
Now, if what attracts you about a lease is that you can keep your money, and then you were talking about time value of money. Instead
Yes.
of writing a whole check and buying that car for $5,000, maybe if I lease a car, I can hang on to that $5,000. I'm only spending $250 a month,
There it
kind of
is.
a thing.
There
So
it
here's
is.
what we would do.
There it is.
If you want that car for about $5,000 to $10,000, and you've got the cash,
Yep.
we're going to keep that cash working for you in an account that's going to keep earning interest for your benefit.
Got it.
And we're going to create a loan scenario, or a liquidity access line, it's called, where you've got some cash and you can borrow up to 90% of your own cash.
Oh, now we getting deep.
Right? So if you've got $10,000 in there, you can borrow up to $9,000
Got
of
it.
it. When you borrow that money, you're paying no taxes on that money.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
None.
Wow.
So you've now got a tax-free car. You've hung on to your principal. It's still earning interest for you in
Sure.
your account. And now when you're done with that car, you've just been making payments on a purchase. So the car will have a residual value. If you bought it for, say, $8,000, in 4 years, it'll be worth, say, $4,000. So now when you turn around to sell that car, or use that $4,000 sale on a new car as a down payment, that becomes an asset to you.
Got it.
And it didn't cost you really any of your
Anything.
principal.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
So why lease? Why rent?
Got it.
If you can actually borrow from yourself, you become your own bank.
So, wow, that's amazing. So what I'm hearing, that's amazing.
Right? Saving a ton of money.
That's amazing, because what I'm hearing is two-pronged. I'm hearing you talk about principal versus interest. Right. Understanding that. But I'm also teaching you how to build equity, but also leverage an asset.
Exactly.
Right. And leveraging an asset to a place where.
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
And this is a habit that will
Right.
continue for all of your life.
Yeah, for
this
sure.
This is how businesses are built.
No, for sure.
So
Because
right?
Yeah, because you want to leverage that asset. And now you're saying, now if we want to be creative and leveraging that asset, if we want to eliminate, let's just call it risk. Right? We're eliminating risk by borrowing against ourselves, because now we have an asset that's equity proven, right? We built equity, but also we're paying interest that we probably can write off at the end of the year.
You can.
And you can do certain
Towards your
things.
business, you can write that off.
Your business, you can write. And also too, if it's certain number of pounds per se, right? 6,000 pounds or whatever. Now it's in a whole different bracket where you can also,
the vehicle, right.
The vehicle,
Yeah.
right? The vehicle is over a certain threshold. You can
Right.
also leverage that as some working expense. All of these things and these principles, would you say one learn all of those over a 1 to 3 year time frame, in that 0 to 3 years, as you mentioned, or does that come later? Because to you and I, that seems very logical now.
No, I think this is immediate.
This
is immediate.
Okay, and that's what I want to. That's what I want to
Year
dive
one.
into, because is it year
Because
one?
everything's about reducing the cost of money.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Equity.
Let's get into that.
Equity
Yes.
has a price to it. Like, you don't have the money anymore because you gave it to someone, so you can't earn on it.
Got it.
By the way, this is a part of showing you the menu.
Got it.
Right?
That's
Instead of just writing a check
awesome.
to that new dealer,
awesome.
because you tuned into Flip with Lou and Kip, you're like, no, wait a second here.
Yeah.
Why don't I write that check to myself?
That's awesome.
Why don't I use my own self as my own bank and
100%.
leverage the banking community to my
100%.
advantage?
100%.
Rich people don't get rid of their assets.
No.
Okay. A poor person or a middle class person has to sell a house to buy the next house.
Right.
What we're doing here, we're not asking you to sell anything ever.
Leverage
We're
it.
going to show you how to leverage today so that you have 2x tomorrow.
Oh, I love this. Hey, listen, I'm hyped right now.
Right? Because 2x will become 10x real fast.
I'm hyped right now because the gems that you're dropping as it pertains to leveraging your assets, boop. That's a light bulb, right? Because oftentimes we see that, right? And we hear it and it's a buzzword, leverage your assets,
Right. You know,
leverage.
what are you
And it's
talking
like,
about?
what does that mean, right? What does it mean to go leverage my asset? Or if I have a home, what does a HELOC even mean? And we'll get into that in future episodes, right? Do I even take out a home equity line of credit and leverage it towards something else? And what's the interest on that, right? Or do I leverage my intellectual property, which is something that I have that I can sell and I can leverage for long term, and I'm being paid in perpetuity. So much. But look, we're building momentum here.
Yep.
Kip.
Yep.
We're building momentum. Now we're in that 3 to 7 year threshold.
Okay, we're in a medium.
We're in that medium now, right? Because now you set the foundation, buy the car, and I don't know if you wanted to expand a little bit more on that first year, but I feel like we're in that medium stage
let's go to
now.
medium. Yeah, sure.
Because now we can really kind of turn the knife a little bit,
Sure,
and figure out exactly what's next. So
let me
let's
hit
go
medium.
there. Let's go
let
there.
me also hit a couple of tools that apply to both short, medium, and also long. We're going to need to assign a target amount. So if you have an aspiration in your short or medium period of time, just like writing out your budget, let's write out that new car that you want costs what? Costs X.
Got it.
Okay.
Yes.
Write it down.
Yes.
And then how much time are we going to give ourselves to earning it? And the reason we want to know how much and how long is because another thing that should be happening in this short and medium is we need to be investing in ourselves.
Got it.
Okay. So to invest in ourselves, we talked about mindfulness and that sort of thing, but let's make it real.
Let's talk about
real
what
practical. What mindfulness means.
Yes.
Mindfulness means what do I want and when do I want it?
Yep.
That's it.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Perfect.
Here. So when you write down and really know what you want and when you want it, I can now help you to figure out how do I invest my money so that I can have those future goals paid for.
Got it.
Okay, so short term, we're looking at things that are high yield savings accounts, which you can find at any bank. You walk in and say, I've got $10,000, $20,000, want to earn some interest on it. What's your highest yield savings account? Savings accounts, totally safe, totally insured.
And that can be any amount of money you have to put into that, right? So there's no threshold.
Zero. Perfect. It can be $1 on up.
Got it.
The next is CDs, certificates of deposit, and they range from 3, 6, 9, 12 months. They tend to earn interest rates ranging from a credit union or a little more aggressive to a traditional bank like Wells Fargo or Chase Bank.
Got it.
Any of these places offer these sorts of things. Another is federal notes, treasury bills. And there's two types of treasuries you want to be aware of. One is treasury bills.
T-bills.
Those are T-bills.
T-bills,
Those are issued every other day.
Got it.
And they are short-term notes, no more than 1 year, which means they mature in a year. And they're guaranteed by the federal government. These are really safe instruments. Each one of these I'm talking about, high yield savings, CD, treasury bills, these are not going away. So you're in very safe territory with your money. Treasury note, by the way, is 2 to 10 years. So that's a longer term maturity.
Got it.
So just be aware there's a difference between a T-bill and a T-note.
Can we stay there for a second?
Yeah, for sure.
Because now you're getting into like the bond class, right? Where you know you're starting to invest in a different class. What is the benefit between a treasury bill, which is a T-bill, and a treasury note? You said obviously one has a duration of time that's completely different. But what's the benefit, right? And why would somebody want to invest in either one? Or let's just put both of them.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you. So this again comes back to what do I want and when do I want it?
Got it.
So a T-bill is just short-term maturity. If you have a 1-year plan for some of that money, a T-bill fits. You wouldn't put that 1-year plan money in a T-note, treasury note, because you wouldn't have access to it for 2 to 5 years.
Got it.
So when there's a medium plan, right? We're in medium here. We're in 3 to 7. So I'm talking all notes inside that mature in 3 to 7.
Correct.
If you've got a little longer, the advantage of letting that treasury note go longer is you're going to get more interest out of it over a longer period of time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Usually. Sometimes long-term notes pay not as well as short-term, and we'll get into that. That's an inverted yield curve.
Got it.
It's a little bit more sophisticated, but as we start to get you more comfortable with us and this curriculum, you're going to start to hear things like inverted yield curve as you're driving around in the news, and you can go, oh, well, okay, so maybe what Kip and Lou were saying, this is that medium term, maybe I don't want to be in that T-note when things are upside down. But for the most part, what we're saying here, super simple. There are short-term investment notes that help you achieve your short-term goals, and there are medium-term investments that help you achieve those goals. And that's what we're focused on right here for this discussion.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And one last thing, because we mentioned about making this practical and just being able to execute on those things from your experience and just your history in leveraging different platforms, right? There's a ton of different banks and different platforms that you can leverage to, invest your money into these, T-bills or whatever the case may be. from your just own wisdom, is there anything that you would, reference, or you would want to give our viewers to say, hey, I would look at, these companies specifically to, leverage as a platform to use and purchase T-bills? Like, how would one go about purchasing a T-bill?
Thank you.
Or a treasury note?
So the best way to answer this is the whole reason we're here. Is we're trying to give you confidence.
Got it.
To walk in and ask the questions of your financial institution.
Yeah.
So the answer to that question is walk into your bank. And if you need some help, by the way, contact us. We'll help you directly. We'll one-on-one with you so you can do this.
Yep.
No matter how many of you there are, we'll do that for you. You walk into your bank and you do the same thing we're doing here. You say, I have this ambition for my money at this time. This is what I want to do with it. I'm looking at a high yield savings. I'm looking at a CD. I'm looking at a treasury. What do you offer? What do you recommend?
Love it.
And by simply having the confidence to ask your waiter or banker, hey, I'm thinking about this salad. I'm thinking about the escargot. I'm thinking about the ceviche. These are all things you wouldn't find on a McDonald's menu. But you're asking, which of these would you recommend? What's the specialties of the house? Which one this month is offering the best?
Yeah.
That's the same thing with your money.
Absolutely.
So it's as easy as going into the restaurant as it is going into the bank.
Absolutely.
It's just knowing what to ask for.
And Kip is from Los Angeles because he referenced ceviche, and shout out to our Latino community because we love ceviche, by the way.
Latin.
I love ceviche.
Yes. Welcome to America.
Right. We love it, right? It's a diverse menu there. Okay, so look, now I feel like we tackled medium, right? Medium, now there is like, boy, I'm flexing a little bit, right? Is there some other points on the medium term that I really want to just, practical? And let's just, stay there for a second.
Thanks, Lou. I appreciate that. Yeah, so in the medium term, this 3 to 7 years, this is when you can start thinking about accumulating investments towards a down payment on a house.
Okay.
Towards starting a business.
Wow, and that's medium.
So, and again, remember now, what we're doing is we're writing down, what do I want and how much is it going to cost?
Got it.
And how long do I want to give myself to get there? So don't be afraid, I can't afford a house today. Of course you can't afford a house today. That's why the decisions you make today will be where you are 3 to 5 years from now. So we're making the decisions on your house and starting your business today. So then 3 to 5 years from now, we're not sitting here having the same conversation about how do I get a house, how to start a business.
Yes.
It starts today.
Yes.
And again, the advantage you've all got if you're student athletes and you're tuning in is you're young.
Yeah.
So these timelines, I'm giving 3 to 7 years just because I had to come up with a number. But it's up to you.
And Kip, I'm putting myself back into the mentality of a 22-year-old, college student first and athlete. And when we talk about these goals from a short term, I feel like that's tangible. It's right in front of me. I feel like I can execute that, right? Especially in today's age where you are getting access to capital, right? There's a different, leverage point of you seeing accessibility to financial advisor, things of that nature, which we'll talk about. But that's short term, right? And I see it. It's tangible. I can feel it, right? I know. I can look. I'm not lost in the world yet, right? I'm not lost in the world yet of thinking that these things can't be achieved,
and
right?
you've probably seen them in your own house.
And I've probably seen them in my own house already where the access is there.
Yeah.
But now when you're getting to this medium, right?
That you may not have
There's a little complexity, right?
Yeah,
and I know that it may sound as if there is a standard to it where we can say, at our age, and I'm saying from our experience, and again, I'm speaking for me, is that when I'm in the medium, I'm like, well, of course, like that sounds easy. Like I can do that. Yeah, because I've done it already. I've prepared. I've asked myself those questions. But I am going back now, right? I'm going back in the time as a 22-year-old, student first and athlete, or even if I'm 25 and I'm post, college grad.
Okay.
I'm shifting my mentality, Kip, into really starting to figure out if this is actually tangible. And you talk about it all the time of like just making the list and seeing it, but like, how can I make these things tangible in my medium goal?
Start small.
When I'm starting to,
the answer to everything you're saying here is baby steps.
Okay.
Because baby steps are a step.
Got it. I want to yes, exactly.
And this is about consistency.
Good. Okay.
This is not about taking a
That's
huge
where I want to
stride.
go. Consistent. That's where I want to go.
It's a little bit every day.
Got it.
It's not someday everything.
Got it.
And think about this, in our own lives, that coach who comes in on day one and takes the chair and throws it out the window and rips his shirt off and and everybody's excited. And they run out on first. But we got a whole season to go here.
Yeah.
Now, where are you going on the second practice, coach?
That's right.
So
That's
same
right.
thing with your own planning. You can't be running off from this podcast and going, I got it. I know how.
Got it.
Chill, baby. This is a step-by-step thing. And that's the good news of it.
Got it. Okay.
If it's a little bit every day, if you miss a day here and there, or you don't overperform every so often, it's okay.
Got it.
This is giving yourself a break. Some days you're going to overachieve from the average. Some days you're going to underachieve. But if you show up consistently, you will achieve. It will happen. I'm telling you, I earned my gray hair.
Got it.
And the only way I did was I showed up.
You showed up. Perfect.
And that will happen to you, hopefully without the gray hair.
I love that.
But it will happen.
I love that.
And another thing that can happen for you in this medium term that's on this list is you can start to make plans for your own education. So if you're doing this as a college student,
That's
right?
major.
And you're thinking like, well, I'm good. I'm going to be a pro athlete.
That's
Well,
major.
maybe. And even when you're done with being a pro athlete, 4 to 6 years after
Sure.
graduation, going and getting a postgraduate degree, an MBA, a doctorate, something that now allows you to live the rest of your life and be able to pay for it is a decision that you make 3 to 5 years prior to doing it. So that's why I put it in the medium category. So since we're talking a lot to student athletes, I want to encourage you to really consider putting a little bit away during this time and making a note, how much would grad school or next level vocational school, getting your Series 65 license.
Sure.
That's how we got
here.
here.
Yeah.
And it costs, under $500
Yep.
to be certified. It costs a lot in your own tenacity.
Right.
To actually take the test and pass it.
The cost of studying.
But financially, writing it down and saying, I want to be a financial advisor 10 years after graduation, I'm going to need $500 in 10 years. Well, that's easy to save for.
Sure.
So now we've just taken this thing of, someday, or I don't know, maybe I will, and we put it on a map, and we've made it really accessible and easy to achieve. So this doesn't have to scare us anymore.
Wow. Okay. I have so many thoughts here, Kip, because, and I'm going to, probably get to a couple because I want to make sure that we continue on this journey. But the thought to me and what comes to mind, because again, I'm just thinking about my own experience, is how do I even measure my success in the medium term to know that I'm succeeding and have those days where I'm winning? And also, how do I know that I'm losing, right? Because we'll look at the losing point of view of dollars and cents. And it's like, well, for me, for instance, I'll speak to my experience. If I look at my portfolio and I see that, there's a downside somewhere in my portfolio, and maybe I'm like, okay, I hit my financial advisor and say, okay, what happened here? Like, why is it this way? Can we mix and we have a diverse group here where we can protect the downside? I know that that's how I can measure, right?
Okay.
And now that's more sophistication, and I want to kind of dive into
No,
that.
you're good.
But I think more so for me about those, folks at home that are just starting with those medium goals, they probably don't even know how to measure success as it pertains to those wins. And so how do they measure success? And also, how do they even measure if they're not succeeding?
Well, I'll tell you, success is validated by the world at the end of all the loneliness of your consistent achievements.
Got it.
We're sitting here on this stage because I've been fortunate. I've won some of these, right? Won this.
Yeah.
They didn't give me this when I started the movie.
Yep. Yeah.
They gave me this after year and a half of all alone in a room, doing the grind of every little day, wondering, is what I'm doing today actually going to lead to even a movie, much less like to win like an Academy Award or anything like that. The same is true for us financially.
Sure.
It's about us showing up for ourselves in the medium term and realizing that the reward, the big day, will come, and it will be one day or one moment, and it will pass. And right after that day and that moment, I'm going to be right back to having to be consistent with myself.
Got it.
So the same way you're an athlete and you know to wake up and do your stretches, do your gym, you drink your water at a certain time, you do things on a certain routine.
Sure.
All we're asking you to consider here is add financial literacy to your routine so that you are investing in yourself financially the way you've been investing in yourself physically, mentally, emotionally on a daily basis.
Got it.
So how to measure your success in the midterm is to look at yourself on a diary, a financial diary like we've talked about, where every day or every week you're kind of writing, what did I do this week? How did I look to myself, etc. And that you can go back and review that and see, like, am I showing up for myself?
Got it.
And the last image, I love this image to put in your head. Imagine you were the star of your own movie and you're watching this movie and you're watching Lou in the movie and Lou has these goals. He wants to buy a house. He wants to do these things at certain time. Am I watching a movie about Lou who's showing up and practicing the habits that will get him there?
Makes sense.
Am I watching that movie? In which case, I want to watch this movie and see how he does. Or am I watching a movie where a guy says he's going to do one thing, but then he does something else or nothing at all?
Right.
That movie, we don't watch that movie.
Right.
So watch your own movie. You're the star of it. Nobody else actually cares but you about it. So if you're watching that movie and you can look at your diary and you can see you're showing up for yourself, don't sweat the little stuff in the middle of the midterm. If your stock portfolio goes down a little bit or your investments go down, you might be checking it too often. Those are things that are long term.
Right.
But regardless of whether you're checking it too much or too little, if you look at your own self through a diary, through a record, through the adjustments you're making every month on your budget, to just the simple discipline of returning to this. It's like going to the dentist twice a year. If you brushed your teeth, the dentist wasn't there every night giving you a cheerleader. You went 6 months and you went, good for you. You're doing a good job. You worked 6 months to have him say that. Do the same for yourself.
And I just want to really hone in, and that was awesome, man. Thank you for that. That was awesome.
Pleasure.
But I also want to hone in as well also and just add one last layer to that. Give yourself grace. Right? Like, give yourself grace in these moments because sometime, right, you may be different, right? We've created Flip and we talk about kinesthetic learning is because kinesthetic learning is obviously learning completely different, right? So you're learning from hands-on experiences, but what ends up coming from hands-on experiences? Sometimes mistakes happen. Right. And that's okay. And I don't want us to really come off in this way where it's like you don't owe yourself the favor of grace because grace honestly leads to a lot of wisdom. And grace is also another tool in a tool belt for you to get up and say, I can now maximize on another day. Have grace.
Oh, thank you.
Have grace because again, all of the things that we're talking about, and maybe there are some high profile words and there is some vernacular there where now we're talking about all of these different things, liquidity events, and you're like, what is going on? I want you to take a step right now. Whatever you're doing, just take a step, breathe, digest it, even push pause and just replay everything that was said and then say, hey, I'm not where I need to be, but I know that I'm chasing towards where I want to be. So I just wanted to add that there.
Look, I got tossed this wisdom thing right back on you. We should be wearing this wisdom crown. That's exactly the wisest thing of the entire session.
I mean, Mike,
if you can be kind to yourself, then you can allow yourself to be kind to others.
Please.
And by allowing yourself to be kind to others, this whole world, all of this gets a lot easier.
Yes.
So kindness first, starting with yourself.
Absolutely.
Please.
Well, let's keep riding this plane.
I'm making mistakes all the time. These sessions, this understanding is a result of me making mistakes. But just waking up in the morning and trying it again. So that's what we're here to try to share.
Awesome. Well, listen, we're riding a plane and we're in cruising altitude right now. We got the stewardess coming down the aisle and they're giving us snacks now. Right?
I like it.
So now we're getting snacks. Now you're talking about showing your menu. Now we're getting the free snacks. I don't know if it's pretzel or peanuts, depending on what airline you're traveling to, right? Sometimes you may not even get a snack. It depends, right? But now we're cruising along, right? And we're going long term. So now we're flying from LA to New York, right? And this is a 6-hour trip. And we know it's a long trip now. And now I'm planning for the duration of the flight. So let's talk about long term. Let's dive into that.
Long term, we're talking 7 years plus. So once we've got our short term in hand and we're feeling confident about our current bill status, our medium term, we're making some investments. We've listed out our goals for those investments and we're doing it. It's starting to happen. Now planning for the long term is what we're talking about here. We're not talking about living the long term. We're talking about planning for it. So long-term planning includes what? Retirement planning. It involves estate planning and taxes. It involves a cost of living adjustments and understanding that your health may adjust. You may need more health support in these later years. Helping out your children Your kids who are either in college and still need help, or kids who are out of school, whether they went to college or not, and need some help, starting a business, getting their feet under them, planning a wedding. These are longer term type of investment strategies.
Okay.
So even today at age 25 you might be in watching this show, when you've got 0 to 3 year strategies on your little piece of paper there. You've got your 3 to 7 year strategies on that piece of paper. And then you're noodling around with some ideas on 7+.
Yep.
I'd like to live in this neighborhood.
Yep.
I'd like to be the owner of a company that did X.
Got it.
I would like to be working and allow my wife or husband to not have to do that.
Got it.
I'd like to retire by age 62. I'd like to wait to take my Social Security until I'm 70, which is, we'll talk about, it's a more opportune time.
Yep.
You're looking at your 401k. You're looking at investments like IRAs and the tax advantages of a straight IRA versus a Roth IRA.
Sure.
These are your 7+ year plans, all of which we get into in detail in the course of this curriculum, so that you can understand in better specificity when they present themselves to you, how to take advantage of them now. But in short, when you get yourself employed at a company that offers employment benefit plans and employee matching plans, take them.
Yes.
Take it.
Yes.
Take it.
Yes.
Take that 401k. That is a gift.
Yep.
And that's the kind of long-term planning that begins your sensibility for, wow, okay, a 401k, you're not touching that for decades.
Yes.
The 3 year and 7 year, that you're touching, as we know.
Got it.
So what we're talking about now is money you can put aside. And the best money to put aside is not yours, but your employer's.
I love that. That definitely makes a lot of sense. So I know we always talk about on that piece of paper, right? You reference it all the time of start with your why, right? Start with your why. And that's really setting the tone and building a foundation of what's to come, but also what you're racing towards. So that way you're not moving the goalposts further and further back. You just know like where you are. But with that being said, in that long term, let's just say that segment of your life, in that period, in that long term, how much of building generational wealth starts with the why in that long term? And is that a part of the long-term aspect of your goal setting when it comes to the time horizon of money?
I don't know. You saw me smile. I don't know if you're leading me on the words generational wealth. It means a whole lot to me.
For sure.
On this menu, I think there's 2 types of generational wealth. One is the one everybody else talks about, and then there's the one that Lou and Kip talk about.
Sure.
Generational wealth traditionally is wealthy parents, when they die, pass on the wealth of their estate to their heirs.
Yep.
That's been generational wealth.
Right.
Planning for generational wealth is a 7+ year thing.
Got it.
That is your estate planning, putting your assets in a trust, avoiding probate. Things like a TOD, or there's transfer on death certificates.
Yes.
There are various instruments that exist on this menu for that kind of thing. But generational wealth to flip has a whole other kind of meaning.
Please.
And the generational wealth that gets me absolutely stoked about what it is that's going on here is generational wealth occurs much earlier than when somebody dies and passes on actual money. It occurs here. When you, as a profile athlete, coming out of Linwood, California, where most kids do not ever leave that zip code their whole life. They're born there, they meet someone, they're married, they have kids there, they work there, they die there. When you leave that community and you go across the country to Syracuse University, as Lou Alexander did, and you fulfill that scholarship, you make a commitment to the school and you keep it, and then you get yourself into the NFL, and you play a few years, as you say, have a couple cups of coffee, and then transfer those energies into the entrepreneurial world and make yourself financially successful. You now return to Linwood, and all the kids that are looking at you and see themselves exactly like you, they look like you, they have aspirations like you had, they remind you of them and vice versa. They see the way forward.
Got it.
You have created generational wealth by exercising your full potential.
Got it.
And by returning back to your community as an example of potential and feeling good about yourself.
Got it.
Instead of a failed athlete going into the pros for a couple years, having a couple cups of coffee, and coming back to that community saying, I put all my eggs in my athlete basket and it didn't work and I'm a loser. First off, you're not. But a younger generation sees that and sees now it's a dead end, that the only escape. So by making these habits that we're talking about, by planning your short and medium while you're a student athlete, while you're becoming a young professional, so that when these things work out or don't,
Right.
the generational wealth that you're providing the world is when you come home with a sense of self-respect.
Wow.
And that is why I'm here.
Right.
That's why I am here trying to share the menu,
Right.
so that people go home feeling a stronger sense of self-respect than they ever have in previous generations, so that young people can look at you and admire their own future. Please.
That just flipped generational wealth
I love that
on
term.
on a whole nother side, because we never think about it as community and being an asset to the community.
Yep.
Is what generational wealth is.
Yep.
We're only going to measure it on money.
Yep.
Right? We're only going to measure it about how much wealth we accumulate, right?
Yep.
And for someone to see, as you just mentioned, and as you well articulated, someone to see you are themselves in you, or you in themselves, however you want to phrase it, it gives them now the ability to have their own thought process of how to go out and be an advocate for that community to do the same thing.
An advocate for community rather than self.
Rather than self. Because exactly.
Right?
Because all they're seeing in self is they're seeing an
like,
image.
I'm ahead. I won.
That's it.
And that's not enough.
And it's not enough.
Yeah.
And I love that you're mentioning that, because there's so many people that are watching this right now. And quite frankly, I've done it. We've all done it. You think about self. You think about yourself. And one may argue, well, only people that are ahead financially can talk about, well, it's always about helping others. But what about helping me first? And we're not saying don't help yourself, right?
No, we're saying help yourself first.
Help yourself first.
Put your mask on first.
Put your mask on first.
Yes.
But your community and the perspective that your community can now kind of lean into, and also you can share that perspective with them and teach them. Now it's each one teach one.
Absolutely, Lou. I mean, if you put your mask on first, to use that analogy, the plane thing, now you're out helping others on the plane.
Wow.
You've become a hero to the community on the plane.
Wow.
Instead of you not taking care of yourself first and making yourself another victim to the circumstances.
Wow.
So when you've got an opportunity as an athlete right now, is the whole reason we're here on this podcast, because you're getting paid.
Wow.
You didn't get paid,
no.
And you played like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So this is a new thing.
Right.
So now, how to take getting paid even $1, much less $1 million or more, as a student, and turn it into a benefit for yourself, is to turn it into a benefit for your entire community.
Wow.
I'm going to drop this little dime on you, throughout these.
Please.
How about if you're the quarterback watching here, and you're an
Catch it.
NIL recipient, and you're making a lot of money, and you've got an offensive line in front of you that's not getting paid nearly what you're getting paid. You're going to I want you to look up Roth IRA if you're that quarterback.
Yep.
I want you to start a Roth IRA for yourself, and I dare you, start a Roth IRA on the benefit of each of your linemen. Mm-hmm. Okay, you make that deposit for each of your linemen over the course of a few years. When they graduate, they'll make their own deposits. You work out a deal with them where you share in their IRAs and your own. I promise you, hand to God, by the time you're 59 and a half, you will have tax-free over $10 million, and so will every one of those linemen. And you guys will all be closer as a community because you shared 30 post years after college building wealth that started at a podcast and an NIL check. That's what's available to you. And it's there, it's being offered, but if you don't know the menu, you don't know to order it.
That is game. First off, that is game. And that's game because I'm thinking, if I am an offensive lineman and I'm bigger than you, quarterback, I'm blocking for you every single day. And at the end of the day, it makes sense for you to invest in me. Not only invest in me, not only invest in me on the field, but invest in me knowing that if I'm on the blind, if I'm your left tackle and I'm covering your blind side, or if I'm your offensive guard and I know I'm calling a mic protection, if I'm your center and I'm calling the mic and I'm telling the whole line where to slide, and the quarterback now has to benefit on that, a Roth IRA is the least. It's the least.
It's a lot better than a Rolex.
It's the least you can do because I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I see it all the time. I can't fit in those damn golf carts y'all buy us anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Y'all want to buy the linemen the golf carts to go around the neighborhood, which is cool. And listen, no knock to anybody that's bought their linemen golf carts. They're fun. But at the end of the day, right? What we're talking about.
I can buy you a lot of golf carts. What I'm talking about.
What we're talking about is you can buy a lot of
golf cart business for
100%, man. And that's the beauty of it. So I'm just thinking again, if it's a no-brainer. Right? It's a no-brainer.
Once you see the menu,
it's a no-brainer. So I can go for days about this because I'm an offensive lineman. I was an offensive lineman.
Sure.
And I can go for days about this. Sure. And there's a lot of these organizations now, especially a lot of universities and a lot of college athletes, and these quarterbacks are getting paid a lot of money. And again, this is not to single out the quarterbacks by any means. But we're
just an example.
We're using that as an example. Yeah. And you guys are profiled athletes on a whole nother tax threshold that your linemen are not, because they're not the marketing of the program. They're not the ones that's getting the brand recognition, right? They don't have that. But how do you pay it forward? We talk about the community, and we talking about being an asset to the community and generational wealth. Hey guys, here's your practice. You got 5 guys there. Start there.
Yeah.
Start there. Wow. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
wow,
I mean, that's just one tool of many.
Kip, I'm telling you.
But what's different about this generation is you're being given the tools to create a financial future at an early age.
Wow.
Where my generation, you graduated college, you started at the bottom, you earned an entry-level salary, and it wasn't until like 20 years after college that you had enough resources, if you survived that 20 years, to then be having these discussions. So what we're doing now is we're pulling those 20 years forward to today.
Got it.
And empowering you. So you don't need to wait and waste 20 years of your life. Those 20 years, I can make you a millionaire in those 20 years that used to be waiting for the chance to begin in previous generations.
Okay. Love
generations that, by the way, wouldn't be sharing this with you anywhere other than probably on this podcast.
Right.
Because they don't care about anything other than their own necessary achievement, because, not to fault them, but that's the way we were raised.
Yes.
I was raised in a world where it was, type A's get to the top first.
Yes.
What we're talking about now is a world where each one can teach one, help one forward, and that makes a better world, and that's why generational wealth, this expanded definition, that's what we all need to embrace going forward, so that your generation and others can profit the way the past has never had.
I love it. I love it. So many gems sharing. All right, so look, Kip, we're about to get ready to land this plane.
Okay.
All right, and on long term. We're about to get ready to land this plane long term.
Yep.
And I want to really stay very succinct in what it is that someone can go and now execute that's maybe in that long-term stage of their life.
Okay.
Right? Because we've talked to the athletes, and we've talked to folks that probably were at that, middle ground, or at that initial ground, middle ground, and now they're at the long term. Let's land the plane on some things that long term, maybe demographic, right? 25 to 35 can now start to execute. And let's just kind of land that now and think about it in practical. Go back in history when you were 25 and 35 and you're putting into practice those long-term things. What are some things that folks can go do right now? And we can really hone in on those.
Okay, so in order to build a successful long term, it's important that we learn how to embrace professional services and support.
Perfect.
Okay, what we're talking about in long term is generally not done all by yourself and a podcast. You're going to need a few friends in your court, and only a few really. A financial advisor.
There you go.
And a financial advisor, financial advisors, are people who have passed a certain credibility threshold with the SEC. And they are registered with the SEC, which is the Securities Exchange Commission. And the SEC is the governor or the overseer or the law of everything money essentially in the country, so that everybody's playing right and playing legal. Every state has an administrator, and you want a financial advisor who's registered in your state where you live. So they have to be SEC and state administered registered financial advisor. Those are people who've probably taken and passed a Series 65 exam or a CFA, a Chief Financial Planning exam. And those are difficult exams. When you pass that exam, you are now qualified as an expert among the experts in finance. So you're qualified to give advice. So a financial advisor is going to keep you from making irrational emotional decisions, for instance, because they've got the calm and the expertise to tell you, hey man, with or without you, this is what the market does.
Right.
So respectfully, while you're freaking out in your little boat, the ocean is going its own way.
Right.
So relax, your boat is fine. Stay in the ocean. Don't pull out. Don't sell because the market tanks.
Right.
This kind of advice, as well as they can help take your funds and put them in a custody account so it's safe. They'll invest in stocks and bonds and other commodities. And that financial advisor will do what we're doing, hopefully. And if not, we are financial advisors and we will do it for you.
Got it.
And that is to show you the menu of opportunities that are based on what? Your risk tolerance, your risk tolerance. How much risk do you want to take? You know, there's conservative and there's ultra aggressive. There's things in between. When you decide how much risk you want to take, it'll also have to line up with your ambitions. How much money do you want by when? If you want a lot of money sooner, you're going to need to take a little more risk. So taking that risk calculable with a financial advisor and not your roommate or whatever you saw on like a meme stock or on Reddit or whatever, that's how you proceed for the long term and security. You cannot do this in any way by cutting corners and avoiding a financial advisor.
Got it.
Flip is financial literacy and investment platform. We litterize you, we make you literate, and then we will also be your financial advisor if you don't have one. And we will make certain that you're offered the best platforms in the world, which are typically only reserved for people who have a lot of discretionary investment income, called accredited investors, who have 2 million or more. But if you've got 100,000 or more, and you need financial advising services and you want to be on that 2 million or more platform, you call Flip and we'll get you onto that. Second, you need a lawyer. You need an attorney. You don't need somebody on staff. You don't need a regular retainer, but you need an attorney who can review contracts that you might be entering into if you're buying a car, leasing a car, starting a business, making investments in companies that might not be brokered through a financial advisor, like you're buying a piece of a company or a startup or something along those lines. If you get sued or have any lawsuit issues, an attorney is a necessary person in your stable.
And what's typically like a median cost? And again, I don't need to know the exact number, but like what is the median cost of an attorney that is just reviewing all the things that you just mentioned?
From $150 to $650 is generally the range of an hourly. That's an hour for an attorney. $150 will get you someone who needs the business or is a clerk, which might be sufficient for what you need as a review. $650 or more or in that zone usually is a partner of the firm and is more experienced in putting together a business or things that might involve a lot of different parties, inter-party agreements. So those are the ranges per hour. But another way you can do things is either a retainer. You give someone some amount of money for a period of time and they just do work and they bill their hours, they keep track, applied against the retainer. And when they start to draw down on the retainer, they call you and say, hey, you're about to run out of your retainer. If you want my work, you got to put some more in. And then the third way, right? So there's hourly, retainer, and the other is a fee, a back end. And this is the way I do it actually with my attorney, because if I were to pay hourly, it would be really expensive. Just call them, hey, I got a question. Hey, I got da-da-da-da. So instead, they take 5% of the gross of whatever I earn, my attorney. So for that, my attorney will review all contracts, they'll draft things, they'll counsel me, they're there. I know that I have legal representation and no one can leverage me in a legal discussion. And in exchange, he takes, in this case takes 5% of what gross comes in, and that's his payment. So his payment is, how good are you as an attorney for helping me close the deal? Because if I can't close it, you don't get paid. As opposed to you get paid the hourly and I don't close it, now I'm out of pocket and the deal didn't close, the whole thing cost me money. So I go on the contingent basis with an attorney.
This is awesome. And that's awesome. Oh my God.
Good.
And also too, guys, we're in a space now, Kip, and I don't know if you know this as well, but we're in a space now where there's a lot of technology to leverage in AI that you can actually go and revise. So one nugget that I want to get you.
Allen Iverson?
No, not Allen
AI.
Iverson.
Oh.
AI, artificial intelligence. That's a thing now.
It used to mean Allen Iverson.
That's a thing. Well, he's changed just like artificial intelligence. AI changed the whole culture as well, and this is changing, I think, a lot more in culture in artificial intelligence. But go on ChatGPT, and if you go to ChatGPT on the side of ChatGPT, there is actually a not even a prompt. There is a drop down there. And if you click Chat GPTs, there's a drop down named Law Office. Now, why is this important? This is important because all the things that Kip is mentioning, and again, I'm no lawyer, right? I'm none of that. But what it's going to do is what we talk about all the time, and I don't even know if this is a word, it's going to literize you, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And it's going to literize you on understanding what to actually review as it pertains to your contract. For example, for me, right? I get paid a lot on the back end, right? So in my businesses, as a business consultant that's helping scale a lot of these small startups, I get paid a lot on the back end. So again, whatever equity that I have or whatever these companies execute, I get paid on the back end. It's a rev share model, right? And we'll get into all those things. But with that being said, I go into that law office every single time I get a contract and I say, hey, can you point out?
You go to ChatGPT?
I go to ChatGPT every single time. I insert the clause. I insert the clause every single time and it breaks down line by line what is not in benefit to me and it gives me suggested language. Gives me suggested language. So make sure if you guys are not like unaware.
The benefits of being alive today.
I mean, my goodness, guys, you guys got so much access. So go in and really, really like go dive into it because that is a resource, that is a game changer. And I use this on my stage of life as well.
That's great. Also, we use LegalZoom here. Flip with LLC. I just signed up with LegalZoom. It costs next to nothing. And they're like, hey, Kip, did you remember the compliance issue that's due? No, I didn't remember. I didn't even know what you're talking about. And I'm like, I'm the pro. I'm a fiduciary. I'm like, oh, thank you, LegalZoom. And give you a little thing, a little reminder. That's all it is. This stuff is so easy. Again, it's like just turning the page. Oh, they have appetizers on this menu. Oh, wow. I had no idea. Oh, they serve drinks here. I mean, this is all we're doing. We're just opening the menu. But when they only show you the little fast food, you think that that's all you got. You wonder why you're gaining weight, not getting anywhere. So the other one you need, before we forget, the third person you need. You need a CPA, which is a certified public accountant, CPA. So that's not your friend who took some auditing classes. It's not a controller. It's a CPA. And a CPA, like in my case, I'm a registered fiduciary. They've taken tests and they're qualified to do all the things that an accountant needs to do for you personally and for a company.
And so they're different from your financial advisor.
They are different than they are. Thank you. It's a really good point. They're totally different. How? They're different because they're going to find real tax solutions for you based on the numbers that they prepare in your tax return. They're going to prepare your tax return, but in doing so, reading a tax return is the intimacy of your financials. It's how much did you really make? And how much did you really spend? And how much was really a qualified write-off? And how much did you owe the government? And how much, if any, are they going to return to you and when? Your CPA is the one who knows the truth here. So by knowing the truth, like going to the doctor who knows the truth, they can prescribe the kinds of medicine or disciplines that help you to alleviate vulnerabilities. And help you to also exercise your strengths. They can say, hey, you're done really well in this side of things. I'd recommend you shift it into this type of a program. If you don't have a CPA on your team, you're not getting the benefit of that full menu. And the CPA can be paid the same as the attorney. It can be contingent. So at the end of the year, you make a certain amount of money, you can pay them 1% to 2% instead of 5% to your lawyer, or you can pay an hourly. You shouldn't pay more on your taxes than probably about $1,000 a year. And if you're paying more, it's probably because you have a complicated company. But if you're just an individual, you can file your taxes yourself online or get a CPA for less than $1,000. And this person, unlike doing it yourself online, will not make mistakes. And mistakes are much more expensive than that $1,000 because the IRS won't go away. It's like a sexual disease. You got that shit and it ain't happening ever again. So don't let the IRS bite you in the little whatsits. Pay for what you need to pay for so you don't get that little thing. You look down in your pocket and go, oh man.
Oof.
So be careful there. On each of these things, it's worth paying your financial advisors generally 2% of the assets you give them. Your lawyers generally no more than 5%. And your CPAs probably no more than 1%. So for a total of 8%, of what it is you're earning, you can actually make 100% more and have the calm every night that you're taken care of. Everything's good. You didn't cut a corner.
You're going back into not only showing the menu, but going back into leveraging the asset.
Yeah.
What you just described is you building another asset, but because that community of CPAs.
Yeah, your team. Yeah.
And by your team.
It's your team. Exactly.
It's your team.
This is your front line.
This is your front line. And
you're the quarterback.
And oh my God, I love the parallels.
They're blocking, they're
and
tackling, they're snapping you the ball, right?
Because you don't feel that there's an ROI, which is a return on investment. You don't feel like there's an ROI if you're investing, because you feel like you're just giving someone money to tell you what to do or stay within compliance of what you're trying to do. And
remember, these people work for you.
No, right. But that's what I was.
You don't work for them.
That's what I was going to get into. They work for you, and that's what I mean about when we talk about assets, investing. It works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
It works for you.
Or it works against you if you don't order that off the menu.
100%. Yeah. But I want to stay on the top line of understanding that this works for you.
Yeah,
so, man, this has been awesome. Listen.
Great.
Oh, my God, this has been awesome. So, look, this is a segment, Kip, like you know, every single week, what we call flipping your financial hygiene.
Okay.
All right. So for you guys who are at home that are just tuning in, we're going to have some rapid fire questions, and it's going to be from you guys, the audience, that you guys, pour into us, but also too, we're going to have them on our card, and these were probably pre-recorded, or we probably wrote out outside of that as well. But we'll go right into flipping the hygiene.
Okay.
And we'll dive right into it. All right. All right. Let's do it.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. So one question is, what does it mean to rebalance your investments?
Okay. Oh, it's a great question. Okay. So rebalancing is an exercise of maybe once every 3 months to once every year, looking at your investments and asking yourself the question, were there any of these that did not perform to expectation? And if that's the case, it's not a problem. You take that loss against your profits on things that did work out, and that works out for your tax benefit. So every year at the end of the year with your CPA, you will look at your performance on your portfolio, and you will rebalance that which is not performing, take the losses, use it as a tax advantage, and then reinvest into things that are working. Rebalancing on a month-to-month basis is looking at, like, for instance, your budget and saying, well, I had a certain amount of money in certain categories, and I've noticed that from this month to this month, I'm actually not spending as much on cable, but I am spending a little bit more on dry cleaning. So I'm going to just move my numbers around so that my budget stays truthful. Because remember, budget doesn't do any good if you enter all these numbers and then do something entirely different. It's not leading you anywhere. I love this saying. A person who doesn't know how to read is just as illiterate as the person who refuses to read.
Wow. Wow. Great answer. Great answer. And also great question, by the way.
Yeah, great question.
Moving along. You mentioned long-term investments are long-term in a time horizon to hire a CPA. What questions should I ask a CPA when I'm having my initial screening and seeing if they're the right CPA for me?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a really great question. So the questions to ask your CPA on a first meeting when you're just beginning, and you might want to interview more than one CPA, maybe at least two. Part of this is a personality fit. Who do you like talking to and feel comfortable, like a doctor, telling the truth? It's important that you're not trying to impress this person or that they're trying to impress you. This is an honest relationship that really matters, like your health. It's your financial health. So asking your CPA, as ironically as this sounds, some questions about who he or she is an important way to begin this. Like you're dating, you're interviewing each other. Do I like you? Do I respect you? I'd ask, who are some of their other clients? How long have they had their clients? You want someone who's kept clients for a long period of time.
How long? Okay.
Who, how long, what has been their greatest experiences as a CPA? And ideally, it's been helping people like you, not something where they talk about their own achievement. Well, I won the CPA award or whatever. Well, that's not really what you're looking for. It's more of, well, I've launched more successful startup businesses than anyone else in my graduating class or in my community, and I'm really proud of that. I've helped these people start from nothing and help them build something of significance. They've been able to have families and buy houses and contribute to communities. That's what I'm proud of as a CPA. Well, if somebody said that to me, I'm all in. I'm all in.
Love that.
And then eventually you can get to their skill set. But frankly, if they're a CPA, you should assume their skill set's already at a top tier level. That's how they got CPA certified. So it's mostly about you and them. It's a personality fit.
Oh, love that. Love that.
Which means anybody can do it. You're already prepared. You don't need school. You don't need anything more than the confidence we gave you right now.
That's awesome. I'm like registering those questions in my own head. You know, putting myself back in that time frame of like, did I ask those questions?
Yeah.
I don't think I did, but my CPA's been doing a good job. So shout out, you know who you are. Shout out to you. Doing an amazing job.
So I have one for you too.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. So I'm really enjoying the podcast. I really appreciate you saying that. That's why I wanted to read this question. Really enjoying the podcast and all the information you're giving. Is there any movies that I could watch that also teach some financial literacy? Because I'm a film buff and I always learn from what I watch. Are there any movies you recommend?
Wow, that's a really great question. So if you see in previous episodes, we talk about Trading Places.
Oh, I love that movie.
Trading Places with Eddie Murphy.
Dan Aykroyd.
Listen, I'll just leave it there. The best movie, because what it is someone that's really, again, don't come from the prototypical background of understanding financial literacy, right? Or understanding what finances is, what the stock market is, right? How to even have these business conversations, what questions to ask, et cetera. And his goal was just literally built on a guess, right? And he found that out and he discovered that. But what he did discover, not giving too much of the movie, if you guys haven't seen it,
don't give it all away.
I don't want to give it all away.
It's a really fun movie.
It's a fun movie. But what he discovered,
funny.
and I'll just lay a plane here, what he discovered along the way was all it takes is being around someone that gives you the confidence to just ask the question of showing me the menu. That's all, literally. And that's what he did. And honestly, you'll see as the movie progresses, it ends up working out in his benefit. So I would say Trading Places.
Trading Places is a great example.
That's number one.
And it's all about that confidence, isn't it? It's all about the good witch saying, Dorothy, you want to be confident to go home. You just believe in yourself.
Oh, 100%. It was, I mean, yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
100%.
So enjoy that movie.
Yes.
And we're going to we'll try to recommend movies on the regular.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of really good films, actually, that when you're done watching, you're like, okay, I'm a little smarter money-wise.
And if there's anybody I'm going to talk to about films, that's my guy.
Please bring it my way.
So,
and this is kinesthetic learning too. When you go home and watch a movie, that's kinesthetic. Now you're putting in your own head. And remember what we said, you're watching a movie of yourself too. When you're an investor, okay?
Let's go.
Let's do that.
Kip, this has been an amazing session episode for you guys at home. Thank you. Really, thank you. And I'm not thanking you for being a part of our community because again, we love you for that, but no, I'm thanking you for showing up for yourself. That's what I'm thanking you for.
Great.
Being a part of our community is great.
Yeah.
But like you showed up and that's all we care about. You showed up, you're here, and you're honestly just giving your feedback and you're giving us something to build on and feed off of.
Yeah.
So Kip, I want to thank you for honing in on Time Horizon. As we always go throughout the week, we just want to say thank you. And we always end it with this, Kip. It's not about showing me the money. It's about what?
Show me the menu, Lou.
Hey, show me the menu. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Peace.